You have started saying your own life in the past tense. The person you used to be. The things you used to do. You did it last week, out loud, to someone across a table, and then you laughed afterward so it would sound like a joke. It was not a joke. Tonight I am going to show you what I have been growing in you for exactly these years. I heard the laugh. I also heard what was underneath it. You have quietly moved yourself into the part of the story where nothing much happens next. You did not decide it in a single moment. It came in slowly, the way weather comes in, one small surrender at a time. Do not turn this off here. What comes next is not encouragement. It is information. It started with the things you stopped saying out loud, then the things you stopped planning. Then, without noticing, you began filing your own days under maintenance, getting through, keeping on. And somewhere in there, you accepted a sentence about yourself that I never spoke, that your part is finished, that whatever you were for, you already were it, back when you had the strength, and the time, and the standing, that what remains is the long quiet after. You would never say it that plainly. You say it in smaller ways. Someone asks what you have been up to, and you answer with the weather and the grandchildren, and change the subject. I want you to see how that sentence got into you before I take it apart. Here is the first true thing. You did not learn that from me. You learned it from a world that measures a life by output. That world reads a person the way it reads a machine, useful while producing, finished when production stops. So it looks at your years, sees less output, and files you under past. You were in that world your whole life, so you learned to read yourself the same way, and now you do it automatically, at tables, out loud, with a laugh on the end. I have never once read a life that way. Sit with that before I go on, because everything else rests on it. Nothing in what I have ever said measures a person by production, not one line. What I measure is depth and faithfulness and what a soul has become. And those are the only three things in a human life that do not decline with age. They are the three that compound. You did not peak, you ripened. Those look similar from outside, and they are opposites. Look at what actually happened across those decades. The 30-year-old version of you had energy and almost no understanding, could work a 14-hour day, and could not tell when a person across the table was lying, could carry anything heavy, and could not sit with anyone in grief without needing to fix it. You have the opposite now, less to spend, and far better judgment about where to spend it. The world calls that trade a decline, because the world can only count the first half of it. I have been running the other column the whole time. In that column, you have never been wealthier than you are tonight. Nobody ever sent you a statement. That is the only reason you do not know. Which is why I am sending you one now, out loud, at your age, in your own house. There is more, and the second thing is where the ache actually is. Here is the second true thing. Fruit does not ripen in the fast green rush of spring. The sweetest fruit on the vine is the last one. Everything that grows has a season of pushing outward and a season of concentrating inward. The young tree spends itself making height and leaf. The old tree stops making height and makes fruit. It does not look like it is doing anything. It is doing the only thing that was ever the point. You have been judging your later years by spring's standards. Less height, less leaf, less noise, and you concluded decline, when what is actually happening is concentration. Read your own years again with that in view. If you have quietly written yourself off, type Amen below. Let it be the night you take the sentence back. I know how many of you are typing that. Nearly all of you thought you were the only one who had. Now let me tell you what has actually been happening in these years, because you have been misreading it as loss. You lost speed, and gained sight. You cannot do as much, and you can see far more. You know within a minute of meeting someone whether they are carrying something. You know which arguments are worth having. You know what a house feels like when something is wrong in it. None of that is nothing. Every one of them is a thing a person spends 30 years buying and cannot buy any faster. Watch the second thing you gained. You also stopped needing to win. That went sometime in your 50s or 60s, and you barely noticed it leave. It was one of the heaviest things you ever put down. And you stopped being frightened of most of what used to frighten you. Not because life got safer, because you have already been through several of the things you were afraid of, and you are still here, in a chair, listening to this. And there is a third, which is the one that matters most. That is not what a finished person looks like. That is what a person looks like who has finally been made ready. Breathe with me here. In. I did not peak. Out. I ripened. In. The best fruit comes last. Out. And it is coming. None of that was available to you at 30. You paid for every bit of it, and you paid in years, and it does not show up anywhere that the world counts. But it is the most valuable thing you have ever possessed, and you possess more of it now than at any point in your life. There is something else that went with it. You have also lost the need to be impressive. Do you understand what that does to a person's usefulness to me? At 40, you could not have said the true thing to someone because you needed them to think well of you. Now you can. You have nothing left to protect. That makes you dangerous in the best way, and it is a quality no young person can manufacture. There is one more thing you gained, and it is the one you count as loss. You have been broken open. Somewhere in these years, something happened that you did not survive intact. A death, an illness, a betrayal, a slow disappointment that ground down over a decade. You think it made you less. It made you reachable. People can tell. That is why the ones in trouble come to you, and not to the polished person 2 doors down. They do not come because you have answers. They come because you have been in the dark and did not pretend otherwise. Let me name what that has already done, since I know you never will. The person who told you something they had never told anyone. The one who called you, instead of anyone else, on the worst night of their year. The young one who watched how you carried a hard season and quietly decided that faith might survive real life after all. You do not know how far any of that reached. You will not know until you are on the other side. I want to say something about the ones you already reached without knowing. You have been in a great many rooms across 70 years. Waiting rooms, kitchens, the back of a church, a hospital corridor at an hour when nobody is at their best. In a lot of those rooms, you said something ordinary to somebody, and it landed somewhere you could not see, and it is still working in that person now. You would not remember the sentence. They have never forgotten it. That is not a comforting thought I am offering you. It is a description of what happened. I have the list. You do not, and you were never meant to. Now watch how often I do my clearest work, in exactly these years. Think of the ones in my book who were told their season had passed. Abraham and Sarah, who had stopped expecting, who laughed at the promise because they knew what their bodies could and could not do. The thing came anyway, and it came late, and it came to a couple everyone had already filed under past. Moses, who spent 40 years on the far side of a failure, herding somebody else's sheep, and did not begin the work he is remembered for until 80. Caleb at 85, asking not for a comfortable place, but for the hill country. "Give me this mountain," he said. He could still feel the strength in him, and he knew what it was for. Anna in the temple, a widow of many decades, who saw what nobody else in that building saw. Watch how often the season everyone else calls the end turns out to be where I do the thing the whole life was for. Let me speak now to where this cuts deepest. One of these is closer than the rest. To the one who is measuring these years against your best ones. The years you had strength, standing, a full house, a role. I understand the ache of that comparison, and I am not going to talk you out of it. But you are comparing two different seasons, as though one were a failed version of the other. The oak is not a failed sapling, and one that is harder to say out loud, to the one whose body has made the decision for you. Who would do more if the legs or the lungs or the hands allowed it, and grieves what is no longer possible? Hear me. I have never needed your legs. I have never once been limited by what a body can do, and some of the most powerful lives ever lived were lived from a chair, or a bed, or a room. To the one who is afraid there is no time left to matter. You are doing the arithmetic of years remaining, and the number frightens you. That is not the arithmetic I use. What a life amounts to has never been a function of its length. 2 more. Stay for them. To the one who feels invisible now, who was consulted, needed, deferred to, and now is not, and has been quietly humiliated by that, in a way you would not say out loud. You were never invisible. You have simply stopped being visible to people, whose seeing was never worth much. Mine has not changed by a degree. To the one who thinks the good years were the ones with everyone in the house, and everything since has been an epilogue. Those were good years. They were not the point of your life. The point of your life is still being made, and it is being made now. There is one more layer under all 5. Whichever is yours, hear the same voice. Now the deepest thing, the one I kept for last. You have believed that your later years are for finishing, closing things out, getting affairs in order, tidying up, arriving at the end with the paperwork done. That is not what these years are for. They are for the thing you could not do before, and could only do now. Hold that. There is one more turn under it, and I will come to it. A young person can give effort. They cannot give perspective, because they do not have any. They can give energy. They cannot give the particular comfort that only comes from someone who has been through the same country and come out the other side. They can give time. They cannot give the weight that a life of faithfulness puts behind a sentence. Follow that one step further. Everything you spent decades acquiring is only spendable now. It was never spendable before. You were accumulating it, and you thought the accumulating was the life, and it was not. It was the preparation. The best is still ahead, because the best requires everything you now have, and only now have. Breathe with me once more. In. The preparation is over. Out. This is the part it was for. In. Nothing has been wasted. Out. And nothing is finished. Come back tomorrow, and the day after. A sentence you have been saying about yourself for years does not stop being believed in a single night. There will be a new message waiting here every single day. Subscribe and turn on the bell so this voice can keep speaking while the old sentence gets quieter. Look at the golden stream now. Follow it back with your eyes, all the way up the valley, and see how far it has already come. Every mile of it narrower and faster than here. This part, where it runs wide and slow and deep, is not where the stream is ending. It is where it finally carries enough to float something. And at the end of it, a doorway of warm light standing open in the dark. You will not walk through that door as a person whose story finished decades ago and who has been waiting since. You will walk through it carrying something, and I will know exactly what it is, and I will know exactly what it cost. Now the thing I held back. You have assumed that if I still had something for you, you would feel it, that there would be a stirring, a clear sense of purpose, some inner signal that the years ahead were meant for something. You do not feel it, and you have taken that absence as your answer. but that feeling has never once been how I work. Almost no one I ever sent felt ready, or felt anything at all. They felt old, or unqualified, or tired, or exactly like a person whose season had passed. The feeling and the calling have never had much to do with each other. Which means the flatness you have been reading as an answer is not an answer. It is just weather. Something is being asked of you in the years ahead, and you will not recognize it as significant when it comes. It will look like an ordinary conversation. A person who sits down beside you, a decision that seems small. So do not walk into tomorrow as a person in an epilogue. When the old sentence comes back, and it will, out of habit, at a table, with a laugh on the end, hear mine underneath it. Not you used to be. You are. And there is one more thing. There is someone I am going to send to you, and there is a reason. It will be you they come to, and not anyone else. Not tonight, tomorrow. Come back, and I will tell you where I have been living this whole time. You are loved. You are seen. You are mine.